One of the greatest things about being your own boss, being an entrepreneur, and working from home is that you work from home. That means you have a lot of flexibility with your time and the way you work and how you work and all of that. It's also one of your greatest obstacles, isolation. And one of the questions that I hear a lot is, how do I get out and meet new people? So I want to share some tips for how to get out and meet new people coming from an introvert. I've got 5 simple tips for you today about this. Now, I am an introvert, so it does take me a lot of concentrated effort to get out there and meet people. Once I do, I love it. And I also have to build in time to rejuvenate my energy to balance it all out. Just because I'm an introvert doesn't mean I can't get out there and do it. Just have to be very mindful of my time, my energy, and that kind of stuff. So here's 5 simple tips. The first one is that you want to take somebody with you if you can, or meet somebody there that you know. I find that especially as an introvert, if you know one person there, it like reduces the anxiety and it makes it easier to show up, feel connected and engaged, and then you can kind of separate and meet new people and interact and connect with others. You do have to make a pact though. If you are taking somebody that you know, promise not to cling. Don't cling together because it can be very easy when you're out of your comfort zone just to hide in a corner and the two of you talk, and then guess what? The event's over and you don't actually get to meet new people. So take somebody with you, but don't cling. Now, the second thing that I want to share with you is to set a goal. Let it be something that's out of your comfort zone, right? So for me, when I was first getting started, I love networking. Even though I'm an introvert, I love networking. So it was easy for me to meet with 6, 7, 8, 9 people a week and meet new people in that networking kind of setting. And so my stretch goal was, okay, then I'd like to meet 15 new people a week. But for some, it might be way out of their comfort zone to meet 1 new person a week, or 2 or 3. So whatever your threshold is for comfort, stretch that goal a little bit farther and actually set an intention for how many people you want to meet. Your coaches, you work with your clients, you know the power of goal setting. When you set that number, it's amazing what begins to happen. Then the third thing that I want to share with you is what would I call it? Like have an intro, right? Not an elevator pitch or not a pre-rehearsed script, but just a great line. I feel like when I know at least one line that I want to say to somebody, when I know what I want to come out of my mouth, I don't stumble, I don't trip, and then I don't get nervous. And so a lot of times I'll just walk up to somebody and say, "Hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Melinda." That's all you have to say. I don't have to go into I'm a coach. I don't have to tell them about what I do. You don't have to make it any more complicated. Just an opening line that says, "Hi, I'm Melinda. I don't think we've met." And then it opens that dialogue and you can begin the conversation. Now, the next tip that I want to share with you is there's 3 little nuggets that I always like to keep in my back pocket for conversation starters, right? Like these are non-threatening. You don't have to think a lot. They're super fun. And there's 3 little topics that I always keep in the back of my mind. And I pull these up when I'm meeting a new person and starting a new conversation. And one of the first questions I love to ask people, I kind of pull out my coaching a little bit here, and I love to ask them, why do you do what you do? Right? Whoever's in front of me, if they have a job or if they have their own business or whatever they're doing, I love to ask them, so why did you start doing XYZ? Because then I can learn a little bit deeper. It doesn't matter what they do. I kind of have an idea about that already if I know it, but I want to understand the why because I can be more interested in them, and that's creating a dialogue and a relationship. The second question I love to ask people is, so what's the latest travel that you've been on? Now that's a passion of mine, so I always love to hear about other people's travels and adventures. So for me, I like to ask others about their travel. Now, if you have a different passion, you could ask that of them as well, but have it be passion rated. So what's the latest travel that you've been on? And then it opens this natural dialogue and you start talking back and forth and the dialogue starts taking shape and moving in different directions. And then the third one that I always like is I'll ask them, what's the latest book you've been reading? Or what's the last movie you went to go see? I love to ask that, and it gives some insight into the type of person they are, into their interests. So through 3 simple little questions, I'm learning a lot about who that person is and how they show up in this world, and the dialogue and the conversation just kind of goes and morphs from there. Now, the fifth thing that I love to do is I love to be prepared in advance. And this is what I mean by that. Because I know when I go out places to meet new people, especially for my business, I know I'm going to get the question, so Melinda, what do you do? And it's always that moment where you're like, oh God, how do I answer this question? Like, do I tell them I'm a coach, but I have a software company? Like, I don't know. And it can kind of be tricky. So I love to be prepared in advance. And when you're answering that question, so what do you do? It's ideal to not answer that question with, I'm a coach. That's who you are. It's kind of the work that you do in this world. But what you do is you actually provide transformation. So when somebody asks me that question, so Melinda, what do you do? I love to provide an answer that conveys the transformation I help my clients get through a story of one of my clients. So I might say something like, well, through my coaching, I work with my clients to help them set up and launch their own business. In fact, one of my clients, and then I'll go into a story about my client. So I love to convey what I do through a story or through an example because people can relate to stories and stories are engaging. So I love to have that transformation, like what are the results? I love to be clear on those top one or two results that I provide and how to articulate it. And then I love to have one story in my back pocket that conveys those results in a way that's engaging. And again, the dialogue will morph and shape and shift. And now you're prepared in advance, right? I'm going to share one bonus tip with you because this just came to me. The other thing that I do when I go out to meet new people, I never give them my business card. In fact, I don't take business cards with me. I get their business card because I want to be in control of the follow-up. It's my business. I want to be in charge of the follow-up. I don't want to leave the growth of my business up to a stranger that I've just met. So I don't give business cards. And I tell them, it's like, I don't have any business cards with me, but let me get yours. I'd love to follow up with you. In fact, I have a free gift that I love to share with you. It's a resource that I think will help convey more of what I do, and you'll get a better idea. Could I share that and send that to you? And then I go back, when they say yes, I go back, I put them in my contact list, I put them in my autoresponders, and I send them my free gift or my lead magnet. And now they can have a better understanding through my actual information and my lead magnet of what I do, how I do it, and the work that my clients experience. So those are the 5 tips, plus a little bonus one, for how to get out and meet new people, whether you're doing it on Facebook, whether you're going to a networking event, whether you're showing up to a live event or a conference, whether you're going to an association, or like my husband and I were a big part of the ski club here locally, whether it's a ski club meeting or a cookout or whatever it is, wherever you're going to meet new people, some little tips to have in your back pocket to go way easier, way smoother, and have a lot more fun.